Every person who journals has their own reasons. So there are millions of possible reasons for journaling, right? Or is there really only one? Stick around to the end of this video to see the one reason I give for journaling. But today, I want to help you find your why. One of my favorite philosophers was Jim Rohn, and he once said, if your why is powerful, the how is easy. That is especially true about journaling. Are you thinking of setting a New Year's resolution to journal? Maybe you've been journaling for many years, but you're bored with it. Have you heard that journaling can help you get rich, improve your health, and even help you get better grades? These things actually are all true. But if you find your why, you'll know your reasons. Find your reasons, discover your methods. Find your methods, the right journal will appear. Make your why powerful, and all the concerns about what journal to pick, when to write, and what to say, those things will become easy. I'm going to back in to finding your why by helping you understand a few basic truths about journaling. At any given moment, your why may pop into your head, so be ready. First, this is a notebook. What we put in the notebook determines what it's going to be. Second, I want to offer 3 quick, distinct items that go into a notebook. Not to be confusing, but because these distinctions can be helpful. 1, events. This is memory capture. We write down an event, maybe our feelings about it. It's a diary entry. Something like this. I got to talk to Lane today. I enjoyed learning more about the places he's been and looking at some pictures. 2, thoughts or ideas. In this one, you present a clear statement, come up with reasons why it's true, and then argue for and against yourself. Something like, remember, no matter how far you push the envelope, it's still stationary. Then you argue about it. This is called journaling, or journaling philosophically. The third thing is pictures. Doodling, drawing. These tell stories, capture memories, help you be inspired and creative. All 3 are valid and meaningful things to put in a notebook. And it's perfectly fine to call it all journaling. But the distinctions will prove helpful depending on your why. Thirdly, if you were to Google or ask AI for 1,000 reasons for journaling, you'd get 1,000 answers. In my mind, all the answers fall into one of 6 categories, or across a couple. 1, personal growth and self-reflection. 2, learning and creativity. 3, goals and productivity. 4, capturing memories. 5, thinking and philosophy. And 6, specific interests. These naturally flow into planning, creating, organizing, and to-do lists. Note that I didn't list spirituality and faith or health and fitness as separate categories. That's because those topics in particular fall real easily and comfortably under or across several of the categories that I just named. Have you thought of your why yet? If not, maybe this next segment will help you. Now, we're going to do a little exercise. Under each of the categories I've listed, there are dozens or even hundreds of subcategories or reasons for keeping a journal. We are not going to look at this exhaustively, but we will look at least one for each. Let's start with number 1, professional growth and self-reflection. You might perform a SWOT analysis, SWOT. You would assess your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT, SWOT. Second, learning and creativity. You might try mind mapping. Very popular thing to do. You create a central concept and then branch out with related ideas, keywords, and images. This can help you make connections, generate ideas for projects, or even solve problems. Think about like vacation. So you've got vacation would be the keyword, the concept. And then you might have destination, budget, getting a house sitter, kenneling the dog, called mind mapping. Number 4, capturing memories. Very simple. Just jot down some details of an event, things that happened on any given day, travel, coffee, lunch with a friend. You know, our memories are precious, but they fade over time, or we forget certain details. Who was there? What was the weather like? Include some thoughts and feelings about the event. 5, thinking and philosophy. I'd like to stay parked here for a while, one of my favorite things. But the tip I would give for this one today is to use a commonplace book. Now, I'll be going over commonplace books in great detail in future videos. But today, briefly stated, a commonplace book is a collection of quotes by others or yourself. They could be made by famous people, inspirational, historical. There's nothing to fear but fear itself, that kind of thing. Then you would take the quote and you argue for or against it. 6, specific interests. Hobbies. Sky's the limit here. I love fountain pens. So I'll write with different ones, describe the way the nib feels, record their dimensions, enjoy different inks. You know, I'll be going over each one of these 6 main points in great detail in future videos. In all my journaling, I try to think relationally. So for instance, I might end a session by asking myself, who does this entry remind me of and why? Is there something I can do to encourage this person today? All right, in this video, I've explained what a notebook is and that there are 3 types of entries: events, diary style, thoughts, philosophical journaling, and pictures, doodling, drawing, storytelling. We also looked at the 6 overarching categories of journaling along with the sample method for each. And I'll be covering each in great detail in future videos focused on each category. All this was to help you find your why for journaling. I'm going to wrap up by sharing with you my why and how I got to it. Before I do, if you found this video helpful, please smash that like and subscribe button and share the video with others who could benefit. Also, if you're still struggling to find your why after this video is over, let me know in the comments. Perhaps I can help you with some questions to drill down a little more. Okay, let's bring it home. My journaling journey has progressed from being self-focused to others-focused. It started out largely as a diary. Later, it became more goals and productivity-driven. But along the way, it felt selfish to me, like my journal was all about me, and I wasn't okay with that. I had met some friends from other countries, third world countries, and learned that their lives were not about themselves. If one person suffered, the whole village suffered. I remember watching a TV show, complete with ads, with one of these friends. After the show was over, I asked him what he thought. His response was really striking. He said, "Americans are very concerned for themselves, what they deserve, and having it all." I think about that night a lot. It seems to me that our culture is entirely too self-absorbed. And sadly, journaling is fertile ground for self-absorption. I hope I don't offend you by saying that. But I would encourage or even challenge you to at least consider my perspective and approach to journaling, which is less of me, more of others. But I digress. Back to how I found my why. I started asking myself questions like, how can journaling help me process my emotions and develop empathy for others? Can journaling help me express gratitude to others for the impact they've had on me or society? Can I use my journal to consider others' perspectives, needs, and wants, especially during conflicts or misunderstandings? While I was going through all this, it just struck me that there is really only one reason to journal. You already know what it is, don't you? It took me a while. I'm a little slow on the uptake. But here's what it is. The one reason is transformation, change. Bit by bit, millimeter by millimeter, I must change. But it wasn't good enough to say I need to change. I wanted to know why. Why do I need to transform? And eventually, I came up with this one sentence. I journal to improve myself for the sake of my loved ones and society at large. I love that sentence. It still resonates with me. But you know what? I'm an American. So an entire sentence is way too long. I needed to boil it down to one word. And it took a while, but I got it. You ready? Love. Love. I journal for love. Love for God, love for neighbor, and love for me. In my next video, I'll help you pick the right notebook for your journaling efforts. Spoiler alert, everyone needs at least two. Stay tuned.